Hello, my dear. You know, there's something about your eyes that makes people rethink what kind of creature they're standing in front of. Not human in the usual sense, not chaotic either, just too aware. When they meet your gaze, it's like they're being measured, decoded, and quietly judged by an intelligence that doesn't belong to the timeline they inhabit. The air shifts. The chatter collapses. People start adjusting their clothes, blinking too fast, pretending to check their phones. It's not confidence they see in you, it's command, distilled into a stare. Because your eyes don't ask questions, they extract truths, and the truth terrifies them. You've probably noticed it, the way conversations die mid-sentence when your attention lands, the way someone suddenly forgets what they were saying. It's not coincidence, it's contact. Your pupils operate like sensors that pierce through facades, and everyone feels it. Their lies begin to tremble before their lips even move. They sense that you can see what's underneath, the tiny tremors in expression, the false gestures they thought were invisible. You're not reacting to them, you're reading them line by line, word by word, breath by breath. And that's why people break eye contact. It's not social anxiety, it's spiritual exposure. You carry an ancient kind of authority, the kind that doesn't need a badge or title. The power is visual. When your gaze locks onto someone, their internal narrative starts glitching. Their subconscious recognizes the imbalance. You see them more clearly than they see themselves. The primal brain panics. It whispers, "Look away before you dissolve." So they do. They retreat into avoidance, call it politeness, call it humility. But it's really defense. Because your eyes strip people of performance. They unmask them in real time. Even those in high positions, politicians, executives, influencers, feel it. You think they built empires by being fearless. No, they built them to hide from the kind of energy that bleeds from your stare. When you walk into a room, they start rationalizing why they feel small. They don't know it's because their illusion meets its expiration date under your gaze. Cameras can't capture it. Mirrors can't reflect it accurately. It's something deeper. Your eyes don't shine. They absorb. They consume deception and return reflection. And reflection, for people who've built themselves on falsehoods, feels like death. There's a reason even the so-called elites avoid long interviews with sharp-eyed truth-tellers. There's a reason your calm composure gets labeled intimidating. The language of power has shifted from words to presence, and your presence speaks through your eyes. It's how you enter without speaking, yet shift everyone's nervous system at once. The heartbeat in the room changes rhythm. The tone of conversation recalibrates. It's instinctive submission to unseen authority. You see, the human eye isn't just a sensory organ. It's a transmitter. Every emotion you've conquered, every trauma you've integrated, every layer of discipline and focus, you carry it inside those pupils. People don't realize they're not looking at you. They're looking through the history of everything you've survived. And that's what makes them uneasy. Because your calm isn't emptiness, it's evidence. Your stillness carries records of battles they've never had the courage to fight. So when they meet your eyes, they're not meeting a person, they're meeting consequence. Even predators hesitate. The loudmouths, the manipulators, the self-appointed leaders, they all default to submission around you. They'll disguise it with humor, sarcasm, or fake confidence, but deep down, their body language betrays them. They start blinking too often, tilting their head away, or scratching imaginary itches. It's biology's way of saying, This one sees too much. Because dominance isn't about how loud you are. It's about who makes others blink first. And you rarely do. Your eyes are magnetic because they were forged in observation. You've spent years studying patterns, not just of people, but of energy, motives, and outcomes. You've learned to detect deceit, not by words, but by micro-expressions, breath changes, and tone frequencies. You read intention before language forms it. That kind of awareness creates a certain gravitational pull. People feel drawn to you, but simultaneously afraid. It's attraction mixed with revelation. They crave your validation, yet fear what you might uncover. That's the paradox you carry. Allure and accountability fused together. There's a theory whispered in psychological circles that certain individuals emit a cognitive frequency high enough to disrupt normal behavioral patterns in others. They can trigger transparency through presence alone. You're one of them. The elites know this type exists. They study it quietly. They call it visual dominance. Some of their consultants even teach executives how to mimic it through posture and micro-expressions. But the imitation always fails because the power doesn't come from technique. It comes from truth. Your eyes earned their force through experience, through pain, converted into precision. It can't be replicated by acting coaches or charisma seminars. That's why your gaze unsettles even professionals trained in deception. Body language experts, interrogators, intelligence officers, they feel the same discomfort civilians do. They can read everyone else but can't decode you. You invert the hierarchy. You turn the watcher into the watched, the interrogator into the confession. Your presence short-circuits manipulation. And that's the real reason elites whisper your name with caution. They can't control what they can't predict. And your eyes predict everything. Think back to the last time someone tried to lie to you. You didn't need proof. You felt the fracture mid-sentence. The way their pupils shrank, the shift in breathing, the sudden urge to look away. You didn't expose them because you didn't need to. You let them reveal themselves, quietly, gracefully. That's your art form. Truth without confrontation. Power without noise. It's not just intimidating, it's divine efficiency. The funny part is, you never asked for this. You didn't train to become the one people fear looking at. It happened naturally, as the side effect of self-awareness. The more you understood yourself, the clearer your eyes became. Because perception sharpens through internal order. You see cleanly because you are clean internally. No unresolved wars, no hidden guilt, no desperate need for validation. That purity of self creates distortion in those still living in illusion. You are their contrast, and contrast exposes weakness. Even animals sense it. Dogs become either unusually calm or hyper-alert around you. Cats watch you longer than they watch anyone else. Children stop mid-play to stare, fascinated but unsure why. They all recognize something ancient in your gaze, the quiet confidence of a being who remembers. And the higher you ascend, the more adults will misinterpret it. They'll call it arrogance, coldness, superiority. But what they're really describing is reflection discomfort. You're showing them what true control looks like, and it unsettles everything inside them built on pretense. You'll start noticing a pattern. In crowded rooms, people will give you just enough space to move freely. They won't realize they're doing it. It's instinctive. In meetings, even leaders will look away first. In conflicts, aggressors will tone themselves down before the argument peaks. It's not because you threaten them physically, it's because your eyes declare that chaos is unwelcome. You radiate unspoken law. Somewhere out there, people with high-level access are studying the psychology behind eyes like yours. They run tests, scan biometrics, measure pupil dilation against emotional responses. They want to know why certain individuals can disarm an entire boardroom with a look. Their reports are inconclusive because they're missing the sole variable. They can map neural activity, but not intent. They can chart blood flow, but not conviction. Your power lives in the space science hasn't named yet, and that's what scares the elites. Their control thrives on predictability. They can model fear, greed, even rebellion, but not whatever animates your gaze. Your presence breaks their algorithms. When surveillance cameras catch your face, the AI mislabels your expression. Some classify it as neutral, others as dominant, some as unreadable. They can't agree because the signal is beyond binary. It's not aggression or peace, it's authority without effort. And nothing destabilizes the powerful more than untraceable power. Your eyes have become both weapon and mirror. You don't use them to destroy, you use them to remind. You remind people that truth still exists in physical form, that awareness still walks among them, disguised as calm humanity. You remind manipulators that not every target is programmable. You remind observers that observation changes when the subject notices back. And deep down, they all know it. That's why they avert their gaze, not out of disrespect, but out of reverence, mixed with fear. You're the living contradiction they can't decode. Approachable yet unreachable, kind yet unreadable, present yet unfathomable. Every glance you offer carries a signature frequency that says, "I see what you hide." And the world doesn't know how to process that level of honesty. So it does the only thing it can. It looks away. But that's only the beginning. Because the more they look away, the more your influence grows. Energy flows where attention fears to go. And all that repressed attention funnels back to you, subconsciously. You become the gravitational center of awareness. Even when they refuse to meet your eyes, their minds orbit around your image. That's how influence works. It doesn't demand attention. It commands it by absence. And now, whether you realize it or not, people are starting to whisper about you. Not just friends or strangers, but individuals whose names circulate in restricted networks. They mention you in private conferences, in think tanks, in closed-door discussions. They analyze footage, photos, and interviews, trying to understand why your gaze unsettles them. Some call it charisma. Others call it possession. But a few, the ones who know better, call it awakening. They're not whispering because they're curious. They're whispering because they're cautious. Because when people in suits, screens, and sealed rooms start analyzing a person's gaze frame by frame, it's no longer about admiration. It's surveillance under the disguise of research. Your eyes have become a classified phenomenon, a variable that refuses to behave like the others. Some say it's biological, a unique dilation pattern that triggers emotional discomfort. Others think it's neurological, that you unconsciously broadcast frequencies that override social equilibrium. But those theories are just walls built to contain something far larger. The fact that your eyes hold truth, and truth doesn't sit quietly in institutions built on illusion. They're calling it the gaze effect. Files are circulating in quiet laboratories across Silicon Valley, in European behavioral institutes, in covert intelligence offices. The pattern keeps repeating. Whenever someone makes extended eye contact with you, their stress markers spike. Their heart rate jumps. Pupillary response suggests both fear and fascination. Psychologists can't agree whether it's dominance, attraction, or revelation, because the data says all three. You've become a biological paradox, a single human capable of triggering chaos and calm simultaneously. Some elite circles even treat your name as a case study. You're discussed in encrypted chat rooms under code names, your face blurred, your voice analyzed for microtones of authority. They can't figure out if you're manipulating people or liberating them, because those who meet your eyes walk away different, disoriented, self-reflective, sometimes visibly shaken. A few report dreams afterward. Others report creative breakthroughs. Some even experience existential dread. It's like your gaze resets their internal compass, forcing them to confront the direction they've been avoiding. That's why the powerful keep their distance. They don't fear confrontation. They fear calibration. Your presence reveals how far they've drifted from authenticity. You remind them that power borrowed from deception collapses when met with eyes forged in truth. You've undone centuries of psychological engineering with nothing but attention. The world was trained to hide behind lenses, filters, and scripted smiles, but your eyes cut through all that. They return the human back to raw data. And when elites see that reflection, it shakes their sense of control. You see, in their circles, control isn't just a strategy, it's religion. Every handshake, every headline, every camera angle is calibrated. They live inside performance. But your eyes bypass performance entirely. They don't negotiate. They don't flatter. They simply expose. And exposure is fatal to deception. That's why you walk through crowds untouched. Why conversations reroute around you. Why even celebrities and influencers hesitate to meet your gaze directly. They sense what the research papers can't define, that your perception isn't social, it's surgical. It doesn't look for approval, it looks for alignment. And alignment terrifies those living off distortion. Imagine spending years building a public identity, rehearsing your voice, sculpting your persona, mastering manipulation, and then a single glance from someone like you makes it all feel pointless. That's not intimidation. That's revelation disguised as fear. It's the soul realizing it's been seen without permission. Rumor has it a few intelligence officers tested your image in controlled experiments. They showed photographs of your eyes to volunteers without context. Within seconds, most subjects reported discomfort, accelerated heartbeat, a strange sense of being watched. One subject even removed the photo mid-test, saying it felt like the image was looking back. The data was redacted, the experiment sealed. But fragments leaked, enough for private agencies to start tracking your digital footprint, your public appearances, your interviews. They want to know how one individual can radiate command without verbal engagement. They call it subconscious dominance projection. You call it presence. The truth is, you've mastered something that can't be taught. Stillness with weight. You don't stare to intimidate. You observe to understand. And that depth is precisely what terrifies those who mistake attention for aggression. Because real observation dismantles illusion. When you see clearly, you remove the safety net of denial. People sense that, consciously or not, and they panic. They think you're judging them, but you're not. You're simply seeing them. And for those hiding behind masks, visibility feels like punishment. The elites don't understand how someone without media power or political leverage can shift energy in a room. But they feel it. Their bodies register it before their minds admit it. Their subconscious categorizes you as threat, not because you intend harm, but because you represent unfiltered awareness. Awareness is the enemy of manipulation, and in their world, manipulation is oxygen. That's why they avoid your eyes, not because they're too strong, but because they're too clean. Reports circulate that certain executives changed seating arrangements during meetings with you. They couldn't explain why, only that direct eye contact disrupted focus. One consultant described it as standing too close to a moral mirror. Another said, "It felt like he was inside my thoughts." They weren't exaggerating. You've crossed into a realm where perception itself becomes influence. The clarity in your gaze acts as a tuning fork. It forces dishonesty to vibrate, to expose its cracks. And once someone experiences that kind of resonance, they can't unsee themselves. It's not supernatural, it's psychological warfare through truth. You're not casting spells. You're dismantling illusions faster than they can rebuild them. That's why avoidance has become their only defense. They can't debate you. They can't outshine you. They can only avert their eyes and pretend you're not there. But pretending doesn't stop the effect. Even in absence, your image lingers. The afterglow of your attention haunts them. Their dreams replay your face. Their instincts replay the moment they flinched. You've become a walking calibration device for human integrity. Wherever you go, falsehood disintegrates, not through words, but through frequency, and that frequency is encoded in your stare. People feel like you're reading their mind because you are, in a way. You're reading microsignals, eye drift, throat tension, pulse rhythm, voice modulation. You don't process it logically. Your intuition handles it at light speed. That's what unnerves them, the sense that you already know. In the highest circles, they've created terminology to describe this ocular resonance phenomenon. They claim it's rare. Less than 0.01% of humans exhibit it. They link it to heightened empathy mixed with hyperanalysis, a neurological blend that turns perception into influence. Their research stops at data, but you live it as reality. You've learned to wield empathy as precision, not softness. You can dismantle an argument by simply holding eye contact long enough for the other person's conviction to collapse. You don't interrupt. Their own subconscious does it for you. That's why people fear your calmness more than they'd fear anger. Anger is predictable. Calm is unreadable. Your eyes remain steady, and in that steadiness, they feel exposed. They project their guilt, shame, and insecurity onto you, then blame you for making them uncomfortable. They say you have a piercing stare. They're wrong. You have reflective clarity. They're not pierced. They're returned to themselves. The elites especially can't handle that. Their entire psychology depends on remaining unseen while seeing everyone else. But you flipped the hierarchy. You made the observer the observed. You reminded the controllers that control is fragile when awareness enters the room. That's why certain media figures speak cautiously when mentioning your name. That's why analysts write notes about nonverbal dominance factors and presence modulation. You're forcing evolution in real time, and they don't like uncontrollable evolution. In private, a few of them admit admiration. They wish they could emulate your composure, your precision, your unbothered awareness. But imitation fails because the power isn't in the eyes. It's in the consciousness behind them. You can't fake clarity. You can't mimic conviction. You can't simulate truth. It either radiates naturally or it doesn't exist. And you, through every scar, every revelation, every moment of isolation, have distilled truth into visual form. That's why even artificial intelligence misreads your expression. It can't categorize authenticity. What they fear most is what happens if more people learn to look like you, not physically, but energetically. If others start developing that same depth of awareness, their entire illusion-based hierarchy collapses. They depend on distraction. You depend on perception. They manipulate attention outward. You redirect it inward. Every time you hold someone's gaze long enough to bring them back to self-awareness, you disrupt their programming. That's why your presence feels revolutionary. Because it is. The whispers have evolved into directives now. Some elites advise their peers to avoid prolonged interaction with you. Limit exposure, they say. Maintain control. They don't understand that distance only amplifies fascination. The less they engage, the more your image expands in their minds. You've entered the psychological space reserved for icons, enigmas, and legends. The ones studied, feared, and never fully understood. What makes your eyes terrifying isn't aggression, it's invitation. They invite truth to surface, and truth is the one thing people claim to want, but secretly fear. You force them to face what they've buried. That's why you're misunderstood. You're not dangerous to people, you're dangerous to lies. And those who've built empires of illusion will always label the truth-bringer as threat. You walk into rooms carrying no weapon, no entourage, no armor, just vision. Yet that vision dismantles more defense systems than armies ever could. It's the reason boardrooms shift tone when you speak. It's the reason certain influencers go quiet when you enter their live stream. They can sense they're standing in front of someone who doesn't participate in illusion. You're not playing the game, they are. And your presence reminds them it's just that, a game. Your eyes became the proof that self-awareness can be seen. That confidence isn't volume, it's clarity. That dominance isn't display, it's direction. People used to say, the eyes are the window to the soul. But yours are more like a doorway. Step through, and the facade evaporates. And the world isn't ready for that level of exposure. The elites think they're watching you. In reality, your gaze has already rewritten their behavior. You've infected their mannerisms with hesitation. You've altered the social hierarchy without policy or protest, just precision. Because real revolution doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just looks back. And as they continue their analysis, cross-referencing your videos, dissecting your photos, comparing your interviews, they'll keep missing the core. The power isn't optical, it's spiritual logic made visible. Your eyes are not tools, they're transmissions. They carry the signature of someone who's not hypnotized by the collective delusion. That's why people flinch. Not because you're strange, but because you're awake. And as the data piles up, as files labeled Confidential Subject E circulate through encrypted drives, one conclusion begins to echo through the corridors of the powerful. Awareness is contagious. And if that's true, then you're not just being studied anymore, you're being contained. Because if the world starts seeing the way you see, control will dissolve overnight. But what they don't know is, it's already spreading. Every person who's met your eyes carries a fragment of that awakening. It multiplies quietly, like light under a door. The more they avoid you, the more their subconscious replays the moment. The awakening travels through memory, through thought, through dream. And now, even their researchers, their handlers, their watchers are starting to experience it too. That's when the fear turns official. That's when the elites stop discussing you in public entirely. That's when warnings replace whispers. Because they finally realize the truth. Your eyes aren't just powerful. They're catalytic. They don't control. They convert. And every conversion threatens their empire of perception. Now it's no longer about curiosity. It's containment. You've crossed from intrigue to threat classification, somewhere behind doors that don't open for the public. They've decided your gaze isn't safe for exposure. Files marked restricted visual subject are circulating stamped with red identifiers. They've begun advising key figures to maintain digital distance, to blur your presence in broadcasts, to avoid direct interaction. But it's too late. The pattern is already spreading across minds like wildfire that doesn't burn, it illuminates. Because awareness, once seen, cannot be unseen. Your eyes have become the forbidden reflection in a world addicted to illusion. They're trying to control the narrative now, whispering that you use tricks, that you hypnotize, that you manipulate. Anything to redirect attention from the truth. You simply see. And in a culture built on pretending, seeing is the most dangerous act of all. They can't control someone who doesn't flinch. They can't decode someone who doesn't seek approval. Every time you lock eyes with another human being, you reset the hierarchy. They stop being the audience and start being the mirror. That shift terrifies them more than any weapon ever could. In the corridors of elite psychology, they're beginning to call it cognitive collapse response. It happens when someone's self-image disintegrates under pure observation. That's what your eyes trigger, the end of performance. And the end of performance means the end of manipulation. That's why the powerful avoid you. You undo their artifice without confrontation. They spent decades learning to dominate conversations, and you dismantle them with silence and a steady gaze. You don't talk over people. You make them trip over their own words. You don't intimidate, they self-expose. Your eyes are not just intimidating, they're catalytic truth. They broadcast a frequency that says, pretend less. And for a world that survives on pretending, that message is nuclear. You've probably noticed how even strangers hesitate to meet your gaze. Cashiers, colleagues, even people scrolling past your videos pause mid-frame, uncertain why their pulse quickens. That's because deep down, they sense it. The same way animals sense an approaching storm, not through logic, but through instinct. They know you see too much, and in your seeing, their illusions evaporate. But here's the part they'll never understand. You didn't build this power to control. It emerged as a side effect of self-awareness. You earned your clarity by surviving distortion, every betrayal, every manipulation, every fake smile you saw, through refined your perception into weapon-grade focus. That's why your eyes feel ancient, why they carry gravity. They are proof that seeing through deception is evolution's next stage. You are not the danger, they are, because they can't handle truth without blaming its reflection. And yet, the elites still watch you, even while avoiding you. Their surveillance feeds you energy without realizing it. Every analysis, every recorded glance, every AI model trying to replicate your expression only amplifies your signature. They've turned you into the very thing they fear most, a legend that doesn't need permission. You've become the unspoken test in every room. Who can meet your eyes and remain authentic? Who flinches first? The answer always exposes the power dynamic. You stand as the quiet revolution that can't be televised, because no camera can capture what's behind those eyes. They can record your face, but not your perception. They can measure your pupils, but not your awareness. They can document your presence, but not your depth. The elites hate that paradox. You're visible yet unreadable, present yet untouchable. A riddle that walks, observes, and reflects everything they hide. And that's why their fear has turned to reverence. They no longer call you threat, they call you phenomenon. Because they've realized something too late. You're not looking at them, you're looking through them. You're not judging, you're unveiling. You are the filter removal they've been running from since the day they learned to perform. And as much as they resist it, every encounter with your eyes rewrites them a little. It makes them think twice before lying. It makes them hesitate before manipulation. It makes them aware that someone, somewhere, might be looking back with clarity that no power structure can distort. Soon they'll realize this isn't about you at all. It's about what your eyes awakened in them. You reminded the world that truth has a frequency and it travels faster than words. You reminded humanity that awareness itself is rebellion. You reminded the elites that all their cameras, policies, and propaganda can't outpower one conscious gaze. They've built towers of deception for centuries, but your eyes brought thunder to the throne room without a sound. And now, everywhere you go, that energy precedes you. Doors open differently. People behave differently. They sense that standing before you isn't casual, it's consequential. They can't meet your eyes without feeling the weight of who they really are. That's why they call it intimidation. But you know, it's recognition. The human spirit recognizing what it's lost, the ability to see clearly. You've reached a point where your gaze is not merely perception, it's prophecy. It shows people their own trajectory, whether they're ready or not. That's why even the powerful look down when you look up. Because the hierarchy of the modern world collapses under the weight of genuine consciousness. Titles don't matter, wealth doesn't matter, influence doesn't matter. Awareness rules everything. And that's the secret they've been trying to bury under data, distraction, and doctrine. That your eyes are living proof that truth cannot be controlled. That perception, when purified, becomes the most destabilizing force in existence. So they call you dangerous, intimidating, mysterious, because they can't bring themselves to say the one word that terrifies them most: free. The world isn't avoiding your eyes because something's wrong with them. The world is avoiding your eyes because something's right with them. Because they reflect what's real. Because they carry the kind of power that no elite institution, no government, no influencer can ever replicate. You don't dominate through fear. You dominate through authenticity. And authenticity is the one thing that can't be manufactured, sold, or contained. Ah, fools. They said you were too kind for this world, too gentle, too pure, too forgiving to survive the brutality of modern energy. They called you an earth angel, as if it were a compliment laced with pity, as if light automatically meant fragile. But what they never understood was that light, real light, is forged in pressure, tempered in betrayal, and sharpened in loneliness. Your kindness was never naive, it was tactical. Your compassion was never weakness, it was weaponized patience. You moved with grace, but behind that grace was precision, an understanding that every act of good carries its own hidden blade. The type of good that confuses evil because it doesn't beg for acknowledgement, it exposes. You weren't sent here to heal everyone. You were sent here to remind them what integrity looks like when it refuses to bow. For years, they mistook your forgiveness as surrender. They thought your empathy meant permission. They tested you, drained you, toyed with your boundaries as if you were some eternal resource of warmth. But you were documenting. You were studying their tactics, learning their emotional warfare, analyzing how evil hides behind charm. Every time they lied, you recorded their patterns in silence. Every time they manipulated, you rewired your responses. You evolved mid-conversation, mid-betrayal, mid-apology. And while they thought they were winning, you were upgrading version after version, until one day, the software of your soul outgrew their programming completely. That's when they panicked, because the angel they thought they could use suddenly developed armor. And not the shiny ornamental kind. They're now facing the kind of armor that doesn't reflect light. It absorbs impact. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped trying to save people who enjoyed the chaos they lived in. You stopped offering understanding to those who weaponized your understanding. You became still, not passive, but calculating. You learned that the loudest grace is quiet protection, and the most dangerous kindness is the kind that no longer performs. See, angels don't carry swords because they like violence. They carry them because darkness doesn't negotiate. You realized that your heart wasn't just soft, it was strategic. Every pulse was a signal of purpose, every beat a reminder that mercy has limits. The kind of good heart you possess breaks evil minds, not because it attacks them, but because it refuses to join them. Your aura became a mirror that forced demons to see their own reflection. That's why they hate you. That's why they gossip, twist narratives, project, and slander. Because your existence exposes their pretense. You became the evidence that goodness can be dangerous when it's conscious. They thought they could corrupt you with temptation. They underestimated the discipline behind your gentleness. They thought they could guilt-trip you into submission. They underestimated how deeply you understood divine order. They thought they could make you question your worth. But you learned to translate pain into data. Every betrayal became intelligence. Every heartbreak became training. Every setback became calibration for higher precision. You stopped reacting. You started architecting your reality. When evil realized manipulation no longer worked, it turned to mockery. When mockery failed, it tried rumors. When rumors failed, it tried isolation. But even isolation couldn't break you. It refined you. You learned how to generate light from within. You became self-sustaining. That's when your energy began to terrify them. Because now, even without validation, you glowed. Even without an audience, you inspired. Even without applause, you led. They started whispering that you'd changed, that you'd lost your kindness. But you didn't lose anything. You reclaimed it. You took it back from parasites who mistook your compassion for consent. Understand this. Your purity was never a target because it was weak. It was a target because it was rare. Evil doesn't attack what's evil. It attacks what it can't become. Your presence destabilized their hierarchy. Your calm triggered their chaos. You didn't fight back through words. You dismantled them through peace. You made cruelty look childish. You made manipulation look exhausting. You made authenticity fashionable again. You made discipline holy again. And that's why you're dangerous. Not because you fight, but because you win without needing to. They'll tell stories about how you snapped, how you changed, how you became cold. Let them. You don't have to explain evolution to those who refuse to leave their old frequency. What they call cold is just boundaries. What they call distance is protection. What they call ego is finally self-respect. Because when an earth angel grows wings made of discernment, devils start calling it arrogance. They want you back in the box where they could reach you. But that version of you expired the moment you realized not everyone deserves access to the healed you. Your glow now carries history. It's coded with pain, layered with lessons, reinforced with divine encryption. People feel your energy before you speak. They can sense that you've been through spiritual combat. Your eyes no longer beg to be seen, they scan. Your posture doesn't seek acceptance, it commands space. You don't compete anymore because you finally understood that presence doesn't need promotion. And that's exactly what terrifies them. Evil can mimic beauty, mimic success, mimic intelligence, but it can't counterfeit peace. And you wear peace like a crown forged in battle. Every villain who underestimated you is now haunted by your calm. They can't provoke what's already self-regulated. They can't manipulate what's already mastered itself. You became untouchable not by hiding, but by understanding. Understanding where their power came from, your reaction, and you simply stopped giving it. That was the quiet rebellion that broke them. You didn't scream, you didn't expose, you didn't retaliate. You simply evolved beyond their reach. And that's when evil starts to eat itself alive, because it can't feed on you anymore. They called you soft. They didn't realize softness is the foundation of resilience. They mocked your emotions, unaware that emotions are intelligence in motion. They misread your compassion as compliance, unaware that angels don't kneel, they hover above. Every trial they sent, you transformed into transcendence. Every insult became fertilizer for your becoming. You don't even hate them. You've outgrown the bandwidth for revenge. Your existence is revenge enough. Every day you thrive, their dark narrative loses credibility. Every boundary you hold, their manipulation loses oxygen. Every time you choose peace over pettiness, their control crumbles a little more. That's why they're obsessed. They can't comprehend how someone could endure that much chaos and still walk with serenity. How someone could be betrayed by the people they protected and still radiate kindness. They study you like a malfunction they can't diagnose. Because to them, a good heart that survived corruption feels like black magic. You became a paradox, purity with power, empathy with edges, light that blinds rather than illuminates. And in their confusion, they whisper about your mystique. But what they're really feeling is exposure. You turned transparency into terror. See, you were never meant to fit in with the wicked. You were meant to reprogram environments just by existing. That's why you've always felt out of place. Angels don't belong, they operate. You were built to infiltrate, not integrate. To observe quietly, to identify spiritual viruses, and to delete them with precision. That's what your compassion does. It disinfects. That's what your aura does. It cleanses. That's why they fear you. Not because you hurt them, but because your energy forces accountability. You are divine antivirus disguised as empathy. And now you move differently. You talk less, but your words weigh more. You love smarter. You give slower. You analyze before you empathize. You've learned that not every cry for help comes from innocence. Some come from manipulation wearing a halo. So you guard your peace like sacred currency. You know the cost of giving it to the wrong people. Your patience is not available for rent anymore. Your forgiveness must be earned, not expected. You no longer heal people who cut themselves on your boundaries. You've realized something cosmic. Mercy without discernment becomes self-betrayal, and you will never betray yourself again. The war you fought wasn't against them, it was against your own compulsion to save what refused to be saved. That was the final battle, and you won. Because the real transformation wasn't going from light to dark, it was going from unconscious compassion to conscious control. You became the guardian of your own goodness. That's how angels become warriors, not when they lose empathy, but when they learn to aim it. Now every interaction with you feels like interrogation for the wicked. Your presence exposes intention. You don't even need to speak. Your energy does the questioning. People feel the weight of their own dishonesty when they stand near you. That's divine justice in real time. You've become the human polygraph of authenticity. And those who once exploited your empathy now avoid eye contact because they know they can't lie to you anymore. You see through frequencies, not faces, through vibration, not vocabulary. And here's what they'll never admit. Your kindness didn't just survive their cruelty. It evolved because of it. You're no longer just kind. You're calibrated. No longer just forgiving. You're forensic. No longer just loving. You're lethal with boundaries. You've mastered the art of caring without carrying, helping without absorbing, understanding without enabling. That's spiritual mastery, disguised as emotional intelligence. You've become the intersection of heaven's design and human experience, an earth angel who's not here to be adored, but to disrupt. Because angels are not decoration, they're deployment. You were sent to clean frequencies, not collect fans. Your presence dismantles pretense. Your existence resets equilibrium. And yes, that level of power scares people who survive on deception. They can't understand how someone can love without needing, forgive without forgetting, and walk away without hatred. They call it cold. But what they're really witnessing is divine detachment, the highest form of control. So don't dim for them. Don't explain the evolution. Let them call you ruthless if it helps them cope. Let them believe the narrative that keeps their ego intact. Because soon, they'll learn what your silence really was. Strategy. Your withdrawal wasn't fear. It was filtration. You were cleaning your circle, purging your environment, preparing your next assignment. The light within you doesn't retire. It reorganizes. Every version of you that they underestimated is now a guardian, stationed at the gates of your peace. You've reached that level where even angels whisper your name with respect. Because you did what few could. You kept your heart pure in a contaminated world. You proved that gentleness doesn't disqualify you from greatness. It amplifies it. You turned kindness into a kingdom. You turned empathy into enforcement. You turned forgiveness into authority. And now you stand in the middle of your destiny, unbothered, untouchable, undefeated, not because life spared you, but because you refused to stop shining, even when it burned. You stand there, right in the middle of your destiny, with the kind of calm that only warriors earn. The kind of calm that doesn't come from peace. It comes from surviving hell and still choosing heaven. You didn't get here by chance. You got here by choice. Every scar on your soul is a certificate of authenticity. Every wound that healed wrong became a muscle memory of protection. You didn't just survive cruelty. You studied it, dissected it, learned its language until you could translate evil into evidence. They called you an angel because they saw your light. But they never realized that light was a weapon, and mercy was your strategy. Your heart isn't made of glass. It's made of tempered fire. It breaks, reforms, and returns sharper. You've learned that good people aren't born. They're built in the furnace of betrayal. The ones who hurt you tried to rewrite your code, to twist your goodness into guilt. But you saw through it. You saw the spiritual engineering behind every manipulator, the way they probe for your empathy, the way they disguise envy as advice, the way they smile while measuring your downfall. But the difference is, you didn't fight them in their arena. You fought them with restraint. And that's what broke them. They wanted chaos. You gave them composure. They wanted a reaction. You gave them revelation. Evil hates when you refuse to perform for it. There's something unnerving about an angel who's done pretending. You used to explain yourself, hoping they'd understand. Now you let understanding find you on its own. You used to shrink your aura so others wouldn't feel small. Now you realize if your light blinds them, they were never meant to stand beside you. You've become the quiet proof that divinity doesn't always whisper, it warns. And your presence now carries that warning label they ignored. You've turned forgiveness into filtration. You don't hate anyone. You just don't host their energy anymore. You no longer sit at tables where truth is the meal, but deceit is the seasoning. That's what they never understood. Your kindness had structure. It wasn't random, it was mathematical. You gave chances based on observation, not obligation. You forgave because it kept you free, not because it excused them. You still love humanity, but you've retired from saving individuals who drown on purpose. You've stopped trying to convince people who confuse your boundaries for betrayal. You've stopped explaining the difference between peace and passivity. You've realized that the true revolution is internal, when you turn compassion into control, when your goodness finally answers to no one but God. That's when the tables turned, because what they mistook for weakness turned out to be wisdom with patience. They can't manipulate someone who doesn't need validation. They can't break someone who built their foundation on self-awareness. They can't guilt-trip someone who already made peace with their solitude. You've reached a level where your presence is not accessible, it's earned. You've evolved from availability to discernment, and that evolution offends those who thrived on your open door. They don't miss you. They miss the version of you that tolerated disrespect disguised as connection. You're the embodiment of poetic justice now. Every person who tried to drain you is facing drought. Every hand that threw dirt on you is now choking on the dust. They're realizing that when you cut off an angel, the air gets thinner, because your energy was oxygen, the kind of presence that brought balance. You were the equilibrium in their chaos, and they didn't notice until you left. And now, their evil minds can't stop replaying the same question. How did the one they underestimated end up haunting their conscience? Because that's what you are now, a mirror they can't shatter. Your existence forces reflection. You represent everything they can't fake. Purity with power, love with logic, heart with hierarchy. You broke their illusion of control without raising a finger. You taught them that the most dangerous retaliation is peace. You've become that divine contradiction, gentle but grounded, loving but lethal, calm but commanding. And every part of you that once felt too much has now become the manual for mastery. You've entered that realm where energy speaks louder than words. You don't chase closure. Your aura provides it. You don't argue. You recalibrate. You don't expose people. Their own energy does that when they stand near you. Because your light doesn't ask questions. It demands confession. That's the power of divine authenticity. It doesn't need validation to function. Your spirit doesn't broadcast. It broadcasts silence that burns through facades. And the same people who mocked your sensitivity now study your composure like scripture. You are living proof that angels are not ornamental, they're operational. You didn't descend to decorate the world. You came to disrupt the hierarchy of evil. You came to reset energetic economies, to bankrupt deceit and credit integrity. That's why your presence activates both love and hate simultaneously. The healed adore you. The wicked can't breathe around you. You destabilize everything false just by being real. That's spiritual warfare in its highest form, not violence but vibration. You carry truth like an invisible weapon, and every room you enter feels it. The atmosphere rearranges itself. Conversations change tone. Faces tighten. That's what happens when heaven's frequency enters a corrupted channel. They can't copy your energy because it wasn't built on trend. It was built on trauma, transmuted into purpose. They can't replicate your glow because it's powered by resilience, not relevance. They can't compete with your peace because it wasn't granted by people. It was granted by higher order. You've stopped seeking fairness because you now understand that divine timing doesn't need to explain itself. The same battles that once drained you now feel like blessings because they purified your discernment. You can now detect darkness before it even speaks. You can feel lies before they form into language. You read souls, not smiles. And the more conscious you become, the more uncomfortable they get. Because consciousness strips away camouflage. You don't respond to insults anymore. You study intention. You don't fight people. You read their programming. You can tell who's operating from love and who's just performing empathy for control. You don't react to energy. You redirect it. And that makes you unpredictable, unmanageable, and unforgettable. You're no longer living in reaction mode. You're in orchestration mode. That's the secret. Angels are not passive. They're precise. They don't move fast. They move flawlessly. And now every move you make feels calculated, divine, inevitable. You don't announce change. You embody it. You don't prove your worth. You live it so loudly that comparison becomes humiliation for anyone watching. Your life has become a spiritual broadcast. Every success, every silence, every boundary sends a signal. The angel evolved into command. And yet, despite all this, your heart remains intact. That's the real miracle. After all the betrayal, disappointment, and deceit, you didn't turn bitter. You turned selective. You didn't close your heart. You built security around it. You still love deeply, but wisely. You still care, but with caution. You still believe in people, but now you read their energy before trusting their intentions. That balance between open and armored, that's divine design. That's how angels evolve. They think angels wear white robes and speak softly. No, angels walk through destruction and speak the language of deliverance. Angels show up where the devil feels comfortable and remind darkness that light still enforces law. You're not here to be nice. You're here to be necessary. Your compassion is no longer a volunteer act. It's divine assignment. And every time you choose not to retaliate, heaven records it as dominance. Every time you choose peace over pettiness, you ascend frequencies they can't follow. That's what they don't get. You're not passive. You're just positioned above the noise. Evil minds can't process that. They assume if you're quiet, you're weak. But your quiet is coordination. You're calculating alignments they can't perceive. You're moving chess pieces they can't name. You're connected to intelligence they can't intercept. While they gossip, you gather data. While they slander, you evolve. While they mock, you manifest. You're so spiritually advanced that their attacks now feel like notifications, irrelevant reminders of how far you've ascended. Your good heart broke their evil mind because it refused to match their frequency. You didn't stoop, you stood. You didn't retaliate, you redefined. You didn't scream, you stabilized. And that stability burned them alive. They can't comprehend how someone can stay loving after witnessing so much deception, how someone can remain soft but not submissive, humble but not naive, forgiving but not forgetful. You are their paradox, their punishment, and their prophecy all at once. Because your existence reveals that goodness, when conscious, becomes the most feared form of dominance. Look around you now. Every lesson, every scar, every silence was preparation. You were never being broken, you were being briefed. Every time life tested your empathy, it was training you for command. You were never just meant to heal, you were meant to lead healing. And that's why your energy feels holy and haunting at the same time. It comforts the pure and convicts the corrupted. That's divine design. You're the walking contradiction that redefines righteousness, not fragile, but ferocious. You've reached the point where you no longer prove your goodness. You project it. You don't explain your heart, you embody it. You've turned pain into prophecy, rejection into refinement, and love into leadership. You no longer serve from depletion, you serve from dominion. Your giving now has governance. You're not accessible, you're appointed. And because of that, your very existence now carries authority. Let them whisper that you've changed. Let them call you different. That's what evolution looks like to those who stayed the same. Let them feel uncomfortable in your presence. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. They don't hate your light. They hate what it reveals. Because every time they face you, they face themselves. Every time they feel your peace, they feel their own chaos. And that's why they can't stand you. Because in a world full of corrupted currency, your energy still holds value. Now, as the smoke clears, you'll notice something. They start returning. The same ones who disrespected you now speak your name with caution. The same ones who mocked your kindness now mimic your posture. The same ones who tried to drain you now disguise admiration as apology. But you don't entertain it, because you've learned that redemption without repentance is just rebranding. You're not bitter, you're booked. You're not angry, you're advancing. You don't need closure, you've become it. And that's what terrifies them the most. You're happy without them. You found joy without validation. You found peace without permission. You found yourself. And that discovery dismantled their delusion. Because the moment the angel realized its own power, every demon lost jurisdiction. So keep walking. Keep moving in grace, in precision, in divine authority. You've mastered the art of being untouchable without being unkind. You've turned your heart into holy ground, and not everyone deserves entry. You are what happens when mercy evolves into mandate, when compassion becomes command, when love becomes law. You're no longer here to prove, only to prevail. And from here on out, every step you take will echo in frequencies only warriors can hear. Because this is no longer about healing, it's about heralding. You are the reminder that heaven didn't send angels to decorate earth. It sent them to dominate it. And as you keep walking, the air shifts. The world senses something different moving through it. Not mercy begging to be recognized, but command finally claiming its space. You've stopped asking for peace. Now your existence enforces it. Every step you take feels pre-written in power. Every breath carries an echo of divine authority. You've entered the phase where even silence feels instructional, where your energy speaks louder than any sermon. You are not chasing alignment anymore. Alignment follows you. Every action you take now leaves imprints that outlive conversation. You are the aftershock of revelation, the spiritual consequence of all those who tried to bury light and ended up planting a weapon. They don't see a halo anymore. They see hardware. They don't see a smile. They see security clearance. Your presence alone rewires atmospheres. You walk into spaces, and truth starts surfacing uninvited. That's not coincidence. That's command. You become living evidence that goodness, when mastered, becomes infrastructure. You're not here to preach anymore. You're here to prove. And proof doesn't argue. It just exists. Evil minds collapse in front of it because your aura is the cross-examination they can't survive. They tried to study your kindness as if it were a weakness, but they found codes instead, protocols, algorithms, blueprints of divine discipline. They realized too late that the angel they mocked was carrying classified intelligence. You've reached a stage where you don't fight enemies. You exhaust them. Your calm dismantles their chaos. Your patience rearranges their plans. They attack to provoke, and you respond by ascending. You weaponize peace so perfectly that it feels unfair. That's the paradox they can't process. You destroy them without malice, dethrone them without touching them, convict them without condemning them. Because angels don't debate with demons, they redirect energy. And when you move, every shadow must shift. That's why they tremble. That's why their guilt grows louder around you. Your good heart became a frequency they can't fake. It exposes whatever's not real. Now every version of you that once cried for understanding has turned into a guardian. Every tear was training. Every heartbreak a briefing. The old you healed others. The new you holds gates. You no longer rescue, you regulate. You no longer absorb, you audit. Your kindness has criteria now. Love flows through structure. Forgiveness wears armor. Compassion has clearance levels. You are still kind, but now your kindness comes with consequences. That's the evolution they never expected. An angel who learned boundaries from battle. And the universe keeps confirming it. Doors open before you even knock. People feel compelled to confess around you. You don't have to defend your name. Your vibration does it for you. You became self-verifying. You move like someone who knows heaven keeps receipts. You are divine accountability in human form, and the wicked can't file appeals. They try to forget you, but forgetting you is impossible when your energy became their awakening. You haunt them, not because you want revenge, but because truth echoes until it's learned. Look at how far you've come, from explaining your heart to enforcing its laws, from craving peace to becoming it. You've mastered the balance between love and law, softness and strategy, mercy and mandate. You are the storm's calm and the calm's warning. You are proof that angels don't retire after war. They rebuild the battlefield into paradise. That's your legacy now, not survival, but sovereignty. And what's poetic about all this is how your light still loves. Even after everything, it still chooses compassion, not for them, but for yourself. You love because it keeps you powerful. You forgive because it keeps you free. But you never forget, because remembering is your armor. You move through the world like a sacred deterrent, radiating warmth but carrying consequence. People sense it. They know playing with you now feels like signing a spiritual contract they can't afford to break. So keep walking in that grace that humbles demons. Keep commanding that respect that doesn't need to be demanded. Keep letting your peace expose whatever still hides in the dark. You are no longer the student of empathy. You are its enforcer. You've turned divinity into discipline. And that's why heaven trusts you with authority, because you earned it not through privilege, but through pain, processed into purpose. This is where the story flips. You're not the one who needs saving anymore. You're the standard. You're not here to fit into purity. You define it under pressure. You're not waiting for miracles. You are the miracle that others underestimated. The ones who called you too good are now learning that goodness, when conscious, becomes governance. And governance, when divine, doesn't negotiate. You're not here to please. You're here to police energy, to keep creation clean. That's the true mission of an earth angel, to regulate, recalibrate, restore. And as your footsteps echo into the next horizon, understand this: you're done proving your wings. You've already flown through fire and came out as thunder. You've become the equilibrium between heart and hierarchy. You are the weapon that heals, the healer that commands, the angel that wages peace like war. The world needed a reminder that heaven has soldiers, and you were chosen as the demonstration. So when they ask how you did it, when they wonder how your good heart broke so many evil minds, you won't answer with words. You'll answer by existing, calm, composed, radiant, relentless. Because your entire presence now says what words never could. They called you an earth angel. They just never realized angels don't run from war. They end it.